at the Grass Valley Library. Welcome to another episode of Random Acts of Science. Today we're going to play with balloons again, and we are going to learn a little bit more about polymers and how they work. So we're going to do this experiment twice, or you have the ability to do it twice. Once just to learn how it works, and then there's a second balloon in your bag so that you can practice it as a trick to show your friends and impress them with your abilities. So if you haven't already picked up a bag at the Grass Valley Library or the Nevada City Library, you can do that. Inside the bag you will find a wooden skewer with a sharp end on it, instructions on how to do the experiment and what materials you're going to need. On the back of that is, as usual, some explanation of the science involved and some resources in case you have more interest in the subject. You'll find 2 balloons and a Sharpie. What you'll need from home is just some dish soap or vegetable oil and some sort of dish or cup to put it in. So we are going to start off by working with one of the 2 balloons. The other one you can set aside for later. The first thing you're going to do is we're going to find out how the science part of this works. So you're going to take a Sharpie and you're going to draw circles on the balloon with your Sharpie. Maybe 7 or 10 circles. You're going to kind of space them apart. Make sure you're drawing one near where you blow the balloon up, and make sure you have one drawn at the far end, and then a whole bunch kind of spread out in between so that we can see what happens to the rubber when we blow the balloon up. So let's see here. All right, so I've got a bunch on here. It's getting a little messy. I'm going to go ahead and blow this balloon up. So you can kind of see what the dots look like on it now. We're going to go and blow it up and see what it looks like when it's stretched to its max. Okay. Tie this off. Maybe. It's always the hardest part of this experiment is tying the balloon off. Okay. So you can still sort of see all those dots on the balloons. So let's look at it closely. So the dots mean that the Sharpie mark that we left on there, that mark has stretched along with the balloon. The only ones that really haven't stretched too much are this one at the end. And I guess I didn't leave one close enough to the tip, but if you're looking at it, you can tell just by the color of the rubber that there's not as much stress on this part of the rubber. It's not stretched as much as it is throughout the rest. So that is our clue to how we're going to go ahead and insert a wooden dowel through the balloon without popping it. What's happening inside the balloon right now is as the rubber molecules are stretched out like this, those long polymer molecules are getting stretched and more brittle. So once they're stretched out, if you were to poke them with anything sharp, the balloon would pop, right? But if you know where the most and the least amounts of stress on the balloon are, you can get the skewer through it without popping it at all. So what you're going to find out when you blow it up too is that we're going to try to insert it through the tip closest to the end we blew up. And we're going to try to have it come out right at the other end. The thing you're going to need, the other trick to this experiment, is you need to lubricate the dowel. To do this, I'm going to dip my fingers in the dish soap, and then I'm kind of twisting the dowel through my fingers as I go. Be careful you're not getting any splinters as you go. Okay. So here we go. We'll see how this goes. When you're inserting it, you're going to want to just gently push it with just a consistent amount of gentle pressure, and you also might want to twist the dowel as it goes in. So I'm going to go in through one end, maybe. A little bit more soap on there. Let's see what's happening. Maybe I need to go a little bit. It made too big of a hole. I'm going to have to try again with another balloon. This might take some practice. I did it. It's leaking a little bit, but let's see if I can get it through the other side. Oh, so close. Got it. Haha. So thanks for joining me. I hope you had a good time trying this and it didn't take you 5 balloons to get through it all, but I think the secret is to let more air out of the balloon than you think, and possibly vegetable oil instead of dish soap, but I'm not sure. So I hope you have better luck than I did, and I hope you have just as much fun. Join me next week for another session of Random Acts of Science.